This is Mickey Ruddock and Zahir Abbas doing Unit 15, Task 1, P1, P2 and M1. Right, we'll start off with P1, lads. Describe principles of fitness training to me.
There are 11 different components of fitness that we've been researching about, and we've got some information, and there's 11 of them, which are muscular endurance, aerobic, speed, power, flexibility, muscular, agility, reaction time, coordination, balance and body composition.
Right, talk to me about all of those then.
Muscular endurance is the ability of a single muscle or muscles to perform sustained work over a prolonged period of time. An exercise to test your muscle endurance is rowing, as you are repeating the same movement over a long period of time. An elite athlete that would require good muscular endurance is a mere count, because he's always constantly punching and making the same movement, and he needs to go on for 12 rounds without getting tired.
Right, good. Next one.
We've got aerobic endurance. Aerobic endurance is the ability of an athlete to take in use of oxygen, allowing participation in prolonged periods and continuous activities. An exercise to test your aerobic endurance is the 12-minute Cooper test. An elite athlete would require a high level of aerobic endurance. So, for instance, you've got Mo Farah, so because he does like marathon running, he'll have to have good aerobic endurance to keep at the pace that he's running at.
Right.
The next one is speed. This can be defined as a production of repeated muscle contractions over a short distance with a minimum period of time. A great exercise to test your speed is 30-minute sprint. An elite athlete would require great speed as Usain Bolt, because he's running 100 metres, which is a short distance at high intensity.
Right.
Also, we've got power. This is a maximal pulling force of a muscle or muscle group in a single maximum voluntary contraction. A great exercise to test your power is a standing long jump. This test would test the power in your legs. An elite athlete would need a higher level of power, would be a shot putter. He only has one attempt to throw the shot put. So, for instance, of like all the people who are in the Olympics and that, they'll have to have such power just to get a long distance, and they'll have they're under pressure as well. But
short and explosive.
That's all.
Good. Next.
Flexibility, that's the next one, is a range of movement around the joint. Also to achieve extended range of motion without impeded by excess tissue such as fat and muscle. A great exercise to test your flexibility is a reach test. This tests the range of movement in your lower back and hamstring. An elite athlete who would require good level of flexibility is Beth Tweddle, a gymnast, as she requires great range of movement around the joints.
Right.
The next one we've got is muscular strength. It's the ability of your body muscle to generate force in a short period of time. A great exercise which can test muscular strength is the hand grip dynamometer. This requires short and explosive strength in the arm. An elite athlete who require good muscular strength is Cristiano Ronaldo, because when taking a shot, an explosive strength is required to shoot. So when he does his famous knuckleball, that's when he'll need most of his muscular power to get his power his dip on it.
Agility, the next one, is the ability to perform a series of explosive power movements in rapid succession in opposing directions. So that's enabled to move in different directions and quickly turn around.
Yep.
A great example of an exercise used to improve agility is the Illinois agility run, because you can in and out cones, but trying to do as quick as you can. An elite athlete would need this is Joe Hart, because when he's keeping, he needs to be quick on his feet and able to have quick reactions to jump around, and if there's a follow-up, he has to get in a different direction straight away.
Right.
Reaction time's the next one. Reaction time is the internal time between the presentation of a stimulus and the initiation of the muscular response to the stimulus. An exercise to help improve your reaction time is the ruler drop test. An elite athlete who would need to have good reaction time is Usain Bolt, because when he's in his 100-metre sprint at the start of the race, he needs to time his sprint start with the gunshot. So that's when he needs to be quick and explosive on the reaction time as well.
The next one is coordination, is the integration with hand or foot movements with input of senses. An example of this would be a kickboxer, because he used to be aware of his hand and feet, so he can punch and use his feet, that's using different body parts at the same time. An exercise to test or to improve your coordination is alternate hand wall toss, because you constantly use different parts of the body.
Second last one's a balance is an ability to maintain an upright posture while still or moving. An example would be, again, David Hay, because when he's in a boxing match, if he gets hit, the problem with that is he's going to be off balance, and he needs to try to stay balanced so he don't get caught off on a punch.
An exercise to improve that your balance is the one leg stand test. So you stood on one leg which will improve your balance. The last one is body composition. This is a relative percentage. This is relative percentage of body fat compared
to the lean body mass. This is muscle, bone, and water. So, for example, you've got David A. Again, who needs to meet the right criteria for the size, for the height, such as his weight. So, if he's too over, he won't be able to fight. So,
do you know what the 3 different types of body compositions are then, or somatotypes?
As in,
The 3 different shapes.
is it mesomorph, ectomorph, and endomorph?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which one's David Hay, do you think, out of all them?
He's the ectomorph. No, sorry, the mesomorph. I can't remember. No,
Endomorph.
can't remember.
He's not an endomorph. Which one's endomorph?
Is that a skinny one? No, the pear one. Small top and big.
That's
No.
meso.
Don't know.
You had it right second time.
Then endomorph. Mesomorph. Ectomorph.
Right, so you got your mesomorph. Right, so write them down quickly, and then so you got your mesomorph, which is
the
muscle.
muscle one. So he's got.
So what sort of shape's that? Looks like Johnny
Is that
Bravo.
Is that
So
big?
his build, he's got
Big
quite
and
build.
short.
This is like a triangle, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the other way around.
Small upper.
Right, so that's your mesomorph. Then what's an endomorph?
Opposite way triangle. So you've got like
Is it
Like
pear?
stick thin.
yeah, it's like a circle, isn't it? Yeah. And then you got your ectomorph, which is tall and thin.
Tall and thin, yeah.
Right, so which of those do you think David Hay will be? Right, I'm going to quiz you a bit now.
David A will be
Circle, I think.
Circle?
the mesomorph.
No,
The triangle one's got to have a big upper body to keep his strength going.
Right.
Obviously,
Big upper body because he mainly uses his arm, chest,
he's
Yeah.
abs and stuff.
He's getting hit in them positions as
Right,
well.
so he's quite a good example of a mesomorph. Who'd be an endomorph?
Will be sumo wrestler.
Someone like a sumo wrestler, yeah? Or rugby union prop.
Yeah.
Right, and then what about an ectomorph?
Would be basketball player, tall and skinny, so you can generate height, which gives him an advantage.
Right, I'll quiz you again then. So, give me someone else who might be a mesomorph apart from David A.
NFL rugby player, obviously, per se, he's like take a lot of contact upper body. So obviously, because they take a lot of impact up on there, they need to be built and be strong in that kind of position. Where as the legs, obviously, it's all upper body. There's no kicking really, apart from if you get a kick. But there's only like one kick in a game or something like that, or per try, where it's all upper body contact.
Right, then what about an endomorph, another sport?
Would be a wrestler.
Wrestler, yeah? Good. So, would it be a lightweight wrestler, heavyweight wrestler? Okay.
Mark Henry, yeah.
Mark Henry, okay.
It'll be,
And then an ectomorph?
that'll be a triple jumper or a long jumper.
Right, why is that then?
Because obviously they need to be able to like generate for a triple jumper. They need to be able to like be quick and also generate height off a push off a leg. Because we've got to like do like a hop, skip, and a jump. So obviously they need to be skinny. Because if you like say you're like quite big, obviously you're not going to be able to generate much height or distance. In
What
your
carries
jumps.
the weight?
Which other sport in athletics might need to be an ectomorph?
That'd be the high jump.
Good.
Because the lighter you are, less you are to gravity.
Right, okay. Right, let's move on to P2 and M1 then. Describe and explain health and safety considerations. Off we go.
There are 6 health and safety considerations that we have researched about. One of them, which is a PARQ. This is important because you need to make sure that your partner has no injuries or health problems in order to take part. Because if he has and you haven't carried out a PARQ, you could be negligent and could be taken to court.
Do you know what it stands for, a PARQ?
Physical activity readiness questionnaire.
Right, so what sort of questions might be asked on a PARQ?
Like, do you drink? Do you smoke? Are you pregnant? Stuff like that.
Have you had any injuries? Have you had a serious injury in the past?
Right, good.
Are
Right,
you
move.
afraid of water or stuff like that if you're in water sports?
Right, okay.
The second one is contradictions. This is when your partner has a medical health problem that you would take into consideration and would be given a special treatment where they would work around the problem to make it easier for the participant. For example, high blood pressure. And regular exercises will help maintain the blood pressure and keep it low, because if not, obviously you're going to have too high blood pressure and it could cause you to collapse and stuff like that.
Right. So what sort of activities might you want to try and stay away from if you've got really high blood pressure?
Sprinting.
Sprinting possibly. What else with like weights?
Like really, really heavy weights, like you first like trying to do that you've never done before. Because if you're doing that and you're really pushing at it, obviously going to be high intensity.
And your blood pressure will increase.
You won't be able to handle it, so
Yep.
you keep it at a good stay low heights, and you know you'll be able to do it, and there'll be no worries about.
Right, next one.
Next one is risk assessment. This is important because certain risks will be needed to record around the area that you work in, such as certain machines in the gym, or if there's any spillage or something. You need to minimise all the risks to ensure that everyone's safe and the participants safe, and make sure all the equipment that's put away and no faulty equipment is used.
Right, next one.
Next one is a contingency plans. It's a backup plan is needed in case the original plan has failed. For example, if you're playing football outside, but weather conditions are poor, so the backup plan would be to like move inside and play indoor. Obviously, it wouldn't be as risky as playing in conditions. Because if you're playing like rainy conditions or icy conditions outside, you could slip and maybe break a leg. So the safest thing to do to have a contingency plan would be go indoors, and it's still, you know, you still got like good like dry surfacing.
Right.
Then the next one is health screening test. This is used to see if your partner has any health issues which may affect the performance. E.g., you wouldn't make them run or treadmill if they had asthma. Or, for example, another example.
Would you not make them run on a treadmill, or
You would not make them run on a treadmill.
you would?
If they had
What?
asthma.
What? Even if they just had asthma?
If they had asthma, you keep them at a low.
You would put
won't
them
make
on a low
really
intensity,
high.
Right.
but not for a long period either.
What might you need to bring with them?
Asthma pipe on.
Asthma pipe.
No.
What's the proper name for it?
I don't know.
Gives me an eye.
Inhaler.
That's the one. Yes.
Too good. And the last one then is the emergency exits. This is used to inform the person who's teaching. This is used to inform the person that is teaching the different routes to the exit. For example, an emergency exit will be in case of a fire, maybe a terrorist attack or a gas leak. There will be different procedures for each one. An example for a fire would be make sure you go to the participants, like order numbers. So say you're at college, you say you've got like a certain place to go, so everyone knows where they're going. Then meet up in certain orders with the mates and make sure they're with that group and teacher. You can go towards the nearest fire exit. You open it. There's more than one in a building. If you have a fire extinguisher near you, in case you have to take the fire out yourself, so it's like a little fire, like someone set, like for example, someone's been silly and setting paper on the table on fire. Use a fire extinguisher that you can find, which is normally on the corridors in the classroom, and you put it out yourself. And then if it's really bad, as soon as you get out of the building, you go towards a fire assembly point.
Right. Okay. Right. So just going back to that P1 then, which do you think's the most important component or principle for fitness training
I think
or general sport as well?
it's aerobic endurance.
Right. Why?
Because if you don't have any endurance and you have low stamina, and if you're playing football, you only last about 20 minutes and you'll be all huffing and puffing, and when you sat down, you won't be performing at the best of your ability.
Right, Mickey?
Yeah, well, I'd agree with that as well, but also I'd agree with like flexibility as well, because say you're going to Olympics and you're not really flexible. For the people that do like floor dancing or pole vaulting as well, as if you're not flexible and you're going to go for that, basically anyone is this. If you're not flexible, you're not going to be able to move to like the right position. Like if you're doing the pole vault, you need to be able to like get your body in a big arch and arch yourself over. Whereas if you aren't really flexible, you're just going to go straight in at the bar like a big lump and hit yourself and go down.
Right, and then which do you think's most important health and safety consideration?
I think it's the PARQ because it is important to ask your participant if he's fit and healthy, because if he has an injury and you do an exercise, you say he's got a hamstring injury and you put him in a treadmill and make him sprint, it's just going to make his injury worse.
Right.
I think it's risk assessments to be as well, because if you don't carry out a risk assessment, there's things could go really wrong. Like if you're in a gym, you don't carry out a risk assessment, and maybe like drop like a weight on your foot, or maybe a machine breaks. Therefore, you need to like make sure the machines are working basically, and make sure everything's in order and working well. If not, you could do some damage.